Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 5 of Rannoch, our vanilla Boreal build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And we opened up a logo competition, and we now have a winner. The wonderful Joe Mercer won with this fantastic design of the logo as voted for by the Discord, and the legend that is Scope has turned it into a ploppable sign for us. So thank you so much for your design, Joe. It is absolutely gorgeous. And again, a big shout out to Scope for designing us a custom sign. So expect to see this across Rannoch pretty much everywhere. Absolutely love it. Super, super cool. So thanks for getting involved in that. I think we're also going to open up the logo competition to the new CS2 build as well. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to go and check that out on the channel. Furthermore, we have added some pedestrian pathways in place of actual pathways over here, just so they can cross. We had a suggestion of this a couple of episodes ago as well, so people can cross over the tram line now, because it was previously just the regular pedestrian pathway. So they can now cross, which is great. Cool. Anyway, today's episode is one of my favourites. We get to build campus for the first time in the city. I love campuses, and I'd very much like it to be kind of a technical institute that is tied into the local refinery that we did last episode. And I've been thinking where I want to put it, and I think we're going to place it here. So I'm actually going to start by ripping out all of the current infrastructure here. Wicked. So this is where we will have our first campus, and we'll just generally paint out the area we know it's going to fill. So probably around here. So I'd like the town to kind of wrap around the campus, almost like the campus is another kind of big feature of the town itself, you know, maybe a bit of a historical number. Maybe we can try bring in some older themed assets into this. We'll sort of see how that pans out. Might be a little difficult in CS Vanilla, but we'll try. So let's first of all start with our main building. So let's come into campus. Of course, the first one we're going to build is a trade school. And we have our main building. So I want this to be... I'd love to see, actually. I'm just going to place it down for right now, but... Is that dead center? Oh, it is, isn't it? Would you look at that? Runs perfectly with the clock tower and the tax office there. Happy days indeed. Happy days. Cool. So I don't think I want it just directly on the road there. So let's give it a little bit of a setback from the road, and we can also have a look at bringing these trolleybuses down today that we prepared for earlier on in the series too. So let's come into our grid, and we'll have our fancy entrance road. Let's do 5 units, 2 curve, and then back down here should be okay. And we definitely don't want all those traffic lights on the road either, otherwise there's just going to be too much traffic. So let's turn them off where we have them. We don't need them everywhere. Cool. So trade school administration. Actually, just to make that level in the middle, let's make it a 6 section in the middle, and then we'll bring it back down into the road. Now we're centered. Pretty happy with that. So this is really going to help our town center blend into the current district as well, isn't it? That's going to be really cool. Let's also change those trees at the front as well. Let's do a probably linden best, I think, isn't it? Fabulous. So let's start getting this campus leveled up. First of all, start painting out our pathways. So let's stick in units of 10 right now, just so everyone's nice and measured. And I think we'll have tree linings coming off this section. So I'd like the drive down the main road here. So as you're kind of coming down this big arterial, like you really notice you're driving past this campus building. So in terms of orientation of a lot of the assets, I want them to be sat basically along this stretch here. So let's see what we can get in first of all. And we do have the trade school study hall, which of course is the famous home of prepare to exams, and it will help increase our campus attractiveness as well. So I mean, how about that? It's gonna be pretty nice, right? So that's what I want. Lots of these big, important, chunky buildings, which really makes a difference in vanilla, because zonables can only be a maximum of 4x4, so having these much larger buildings really helps the city just develop a little bit more authenticity, I think. So we'll have that in. We'll box them off there. Now, how do our airport aprons interact with the campus assets? I'm actually not sure. Let's have a little look. We can place them, although we do have bushes on the ground now, which is a bit irritating. And of course Bob would get rid of them. However, we might also be able to blend them in with park life. If we grab Some flower beds, I wonder. No, it's part of the asset. Maybe we can pretend they're actually in planters then, rather than just there, but otherwise I think we'll be okay. Maybe we could add Bob to the series just to remove little annoyances like that. Let me know if you guys would be okay with Bobby being included as a quality of life mod. Cool. So we have that there. Let's come back into our campus buildings. Of course, we have the Mega Police Academy, which is an absolute chungus. Now, we can include this here. It is very big. Now, I think we'll push it a little bit further down. Then again, we do also have some possible highway orientation here. I'm just going to place it. Would be a very nice highway side asset, wouldn't it? So maybe we'll push it back toward the back of the campus, I think. I think we'll do that. I do, however, want a road coming up to that, though, because I think a building that big kind of justifies quite a bit of car parking out the front of it. So with that in mind, let's bring up a nice landscape road here that comes into the campus itself, with the idea that that's eventually going to service the police academy over there too. Cool. So let's get some classic dorm spice in here as well. Let's go for one here. I'd love to give them a little park, actually. Can we explore some of those tourism parks? One of the little ponds. How about that in between the dorms? I think that might be quite nice, right? And then we'll do... We get another dorm behind. I want to say that space behind the main building, though, really. So let's come back to our pathways. Send everyone up here. How wide are our dorm assets here? 5 tiles. And I guess because that does have vanilla pathways around it, is it possible to blend that into the campus itself? It'd be very nice if we could. I suppose we could there, couldn't we? So let's bring all the nodes up to the top. And then can I come out from there? We can indeed. Where we do have that little inconsistency, and we just want to downgrade into vanilla pathway, which is a lot more flexible, and then off the back of that we can re-upgrade into whatever we had. Fabulous. Can we do the same this side? We can, but we do cut through the hedge, which is a little weird. The snapping nodes are in very unusual places on this park. It does feel a little odd, but we can still get away with it. So at least we'll walk into that park and we can really integrate that into the campus. Should be quite nice. And then let's also repeat our dorm spices over here as well. I'll have that on there. And how's that doing for campus level now? Still need quite a bit more attractiveness, so let's keep going down these assets. We also have the groundskeeping area, and then the book club as well, don't we? So I think the book club here would work quite nicely behind the main building. There's opportunities there for a bit of landscaping in the middle. And we'll try and centralize this as best we can. Maybe even go for a little bit of repeated book club spice. Kind of look like old sort of fraternity houses, don't they? I think that's what they're called anyway. I think we can have them there. Bob will also allow us to change out the trees as well. Not that I hate the orders, but it also gives us the option, doesn't it? I don't mind that. Let's get the groundskeeping one in. So I'll tell you what, let's actually factor in the police academy first. So we still got quite a bit of room to spare. And mentioned, just because of the nature of it, I would like this building to have some car parking outside. So we'll get that in, thankfully, now with poppable vanilla parking. For the first time in a campus, maybe? Yes, some of the campuses in Orchid Bay towards the end weren't really campuses, were they? We kept repurposing them into different builds. So it's going to be the first time we really used it. And then let's have this. I guess we'll just place it there and see what we think for the time being, right? I think it's certainly like a road coming around the back of it, just to make it look like the sections of the building behind kind of have a proper access. Bring that as close to the highways as we can. Do we have the highway with sound barriers yet? We do. So possible sound barrier upgrade here, maybe. Send that all the way down. I guess we'll do it this side as well, for sure. We'll have that there. And then let's just bring that as tight as we can get it. Fantastic. And then we can hook into some of our existing frameworks that we have already around here. Change this one to a tree-lined road, as it's kind of like a grand entrance into the campus, if you like. Those nodes there are maybe a little bit too close for comfort. let's do a little curve down into there, shall we? And we will change that to... Pines don't really work on those roads, do they? So, Eastern Cottonwood? Yeah, perfect. And then I wouldn't mind also just bringing the road around the side here as well. So it looks like those car parks over here have proper servicing as well. Airport apron there as well, just to help bring in that concrete space. They're gonna just fill a little bit of our highway with concrete, but I'm not against that. That way it kind of makes it like you can walk through this space, right? I think so. And then just to shelter the neighborhood from the relentless noise of the Rannoch highways, we'll have a little tree line running through here too. We will suffer noise pollution issues there, I think, if we zone that close to the highway. And possibly the same right up along this side too. That's a very impressive entrance into the campus there, isn't it? Great asset orientation against the highway with the police academy. Awesome. Fantastic. So how does that leave us for attractiveness? Way over. Just got to wait for those students to come in now. Of course, the academic works. Let's also give them the grant as well, so we definitely get an academic work. And these students should slowly roll in. We do have quite a few eligible for university. Yeah. So they should keep coming in over time. Whilst that does continue to move it through its first level, I would love to explore the orientation and positioning of the trolleybus depot, because I do want to use trolleybuses here. I think we're probably going to avoid buses for the foreseeable in this initial suburb. I'd like to see if we can use it with trams and trolleybuses for the start. We are getting quite a bit of abandonment here in the initial industry. I'm guessing that is due to the introduction of the oil last episode. Be siphoning workers from here, won't it? So it's likely we'll rework this initial industry at one point because it's pretty ugly now, isn't it? Really just there to get the city started. That abandonment has happened there too. We've also got high density unlocked as well now, so let's come back to this initial start area. Won't mind having a little apartment block on the main street here either. We'll let that grow up. Fabulous. And maybe some more room for some high density apartments in and around the town centre too. And while we do have... I mean, the Sherry district is over here, isn't it? It is indeed. Wouldn't mind allowing some Green Cities apartments to grow up as part of the campus either. I don't think we've really tried that before, have we? So we'll give it a go. So yeah, trolleybuses. Get distracted. So we have trolleybuses here. It's of course very loud, so it's going to murder all of these people here, but that's fine. Alternatively, we could put it over here, and actually maybe perhaps treat it as part of the campus. Would that be horrific? Because I guess if we're tying the campus in as kind of a trade technical school that is associated with the town's refinery, this kind of industrial-esque building isn't out of place, I don't think, is it? I don't think it is. Of course, we will have to change this road for Trolleybus Road, which I'm not against. What options do we have here? Let's do... We'll do Trolleybus with cycling. Then do we have a Trolleybus with cycling road? We do. Because of course we've got cycling on the couplet. I'll tell you what, while we're here, let's also activate city planning, encourage biking citywide. I think we'll also legalize weed as well. Where is it? Where is recreational use? There we go. It increases the police budget by 5%, but we do get increased tax income and increased tourism as well, which will of course help everything else grow up. We do have some pollution over here. Oh, probably because you guys are right next to pollutive industry. My bad. My bad. I forgot we had that there. Yeah, there's pollution here, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Just due to those warehouses there. Which, yeah, we really shouldn't have residentials there, really. That is a noob error on my part. Please someone send me a link to the noob's guide. Need to rewatch it. Put in industry next to residential. After 3,000 hours in this game. Yes, so trolleybuses. Let's set these up. So we're going to have the main road here as trolleybus and cycling. And we'll send this back to the main street. Now here is a little bit awkward, isn't it? I would like to have trolleybus only roads, but they don't exist, but we can use pedestrian roads, which I guess is a happy halfway, isn't it? So let's filter for bluestone, and we'll grab our smaller trolleybus one. Yeah, small bluestone with trolleybus wires. Now, I'd ideally like this to come across a straight angle, so something like that. Let's downgrade that road again. And essentially use this as a bit of a turnaround point. So we'll come back to trolleybus roads. I don't think I want to encourage cycling here because it's a highway road. So let's just go for trees. And then we'll come back into the regular one as it comes back through the green belt. Where do we want to send it here? Cool. And that will allow it to turn around entirely. And we don't want to let those houses regrow back on the pedestrian road. So that will complete one loop that way, and then the trolleybus will continue down this way, which will really add to the industrial vibe of this area. Seeing that kind of older school trolleybus design over here. And then I'd love it to converge with the trams, so... because this point here is going to be another good stop for a tram stop, isn't it? So let's account for that. That allows the tram to turn around and also provides a stop for our refinery workers over here too. Yeah, I think I'd like a couple more connections here. And that node there isn't filling me with confidence, so I think we'll rework exactly how that sits. Redraw that in there too. And then I think just temporarily we'll grab some one-way trolleybus roads and then just allow it to turn around here so we can create an end of loop again. As the city grows out, all of these public transport networks will extend, but for the time being it does give us the ability to allow the trams and the trolleybuses to converge. So where's node controller when you need it? really want node controller there. Let's just do that for right now, and then let's get this trolleybus flowing. So we'll pick one of the fancier models. We'll have a stop there. It can then come back down the main street. It can start the main road here. Again, directly outside the campus. I'll essentially treat this as kind of a bus, so every 2 blocks, really, I think. We'll have it stop here on the little pedestrian section, and then it can stop again on this little green belt over here, I think. Actually, let's send it around the other way, otherwise they're going to be crossing over each other, so it can come down this street first, then onto the pedestrian section, and again over here, and then mirrored all the way back. Fantastic. It's been a while since we've used trolleybuses, not since Karen Town Centre, so let's have a little look what sort of vehicle we want. In the articulated 90 capacity ones could be pretty interesting. Don't hate that. Let's go ahead and change the colour a little bit. How about we go for black, matching with the nearby oil industry? Maybe it's sponsored by the oil refinery, by the Heather oil fields. It's greenwashing. if we can work in the oil refineries trying to greenwash the population by sponsoring the trolleybuses. Cool, so they'll go around. And we should start to see lots of public transport spice converging here. Again, once we grow this area of the city out, we'll definitely make much more of a song and dance of these two convergence, a big kind of public transport hub here. I reckon this is probably where we'll start the metro that we unlocked. I'm thinking this station, which should fit here. Yeah, something like that. This is where I'm thinking of running the metro. We're not going to do it today because we just don't need that much public transport at 7,000 population. But this is how I'm thinking the metro is going to fit in with the trams. So it's going to come down here, run parallel, probably cut through the park, and then cross the river here and off into downtown, where it's likely to meet up with the main hub before crossing the river with the bridge into that area there. Really want to rely on metro to move people around in Rannoch. I feel like it's not. We always tend to go for trains or trams for kind of mass transportation, and metro is just kind of pushed underground and forgotten about. So I really want to make sure we get a proper good metro system knocking about. So those trolleybuses will stagger out. Until then, I am now just waiting for the academic years to tick over. So I'll see you at level 2. And during the wait for level 2, we have also hit Small City, just as an FYI for the milestone chasers, where we do actually finally unlock trains, which is quite interesting. I think with that in mind, it would be fun to... I've also added in the high school over here as well, because we did delete one during that initial opening. There's a high school in here now. So it might be fun to start planning in for a train station as well. Which, again, I wouldn't mind it kind of coming through this area. Eventually joining up with that metro bridge for them to both cross the river together. Otherwise, the train line's running through here at the minute, which goes over that way. I'd like to have a line kind of come through the town and go this way off toward that direction, eventually linking up with this line over here, thus connecting the two. We will remove some houses in favour of the train station, which is fine. We'll have to remove quite a few of them actually because of the noise pollution radius around here. Of course, trees will help with that. Yeah, so I think we'll have it in here. I don't think we'll get it running today. Move it over a little bit actually. So we'll have the train station there. Although I think that is more of what I'm after there. And then let's line these up here. So we'll prepare them. So let's grab the metro track. If I can find it. There it is. So let's have this on the smallest elevation. So yeah, we'll do 9 meters. And then let's just take out this fence for a second too. Because I would like a little bit more breathing room here for them. A very erratic episode today, everyone. My apologies. There's lots of cool things unlocking all at once. I really want to make sure we plan in for them in the early game. So Metro can join here. And then elevated train next door. And then of course they can split off in different directions, but as they pass through Sherry, they will, at least for a little bit, be relatively parallel. And then let's see how easy this is going to be. Fantastic, I'm happy with that. And then let's also prep that metro line as well. Again, it's not going to be turned on today just because we don't have it. We might as well turn this station off, haven't we? Because it's costing us money. Yeah, we don't need it for right now, but we'll leave it there as a reminder. And then you, I guess, do we want to run it in between the couplet? Yeah, I think we do, don't we? I think we do. That aesthetic is just too cool to refuse. So we'll do that as well. Let's do something like that. Yeah, we did actually have a very good suggestion of splitting the tram into one-way roads, one-way tram tracks, and then having the metro in the middle. There's essentially endless combinations of metro, or well, of couplet public transport systems, isn't there? It's a lot of fun to explore what you can do with all the assets available in CS1 now. So you're going to come across here. The only thing I really want to be snapping to at this point is the angle. I don't think that's actually kind of too bad, is it? I think I'm pretty happy with that. That's going to look really cool as they flow around here together, eventually meeting up or splitting off again in the future. So at least we got them prepared now. Whilst we are over here talking about trains, we might as well have this one link up. You're going to come over here, aren't you? There's no initial plans for this area over here just at the minute. So we'll make sure the train line flows through that area. Now if we delete you guys, yeah, we just go down into 3 deeps. I'm happy for the train to pass through here. Just above the houses, very New York. Over there. Cross over. And we're already seeing public transport layers develop here, right? Very tasty. Wonder if actually if we want to go for the high-speed rail here. Definitely goes better with the green cities, doesn't it, I think? Yeah, maybe we'll have this as a high-speed rail, which comes with the bridges and piers content creator pack, by the way, if you're wondering, available down below in Instant Gaming to help support the channel. And as it comes past the industrial area, it'll switch back to this older style of track, maybe where it hasn't been upgraded just yet. And that can now cut right through the countryside. And hopefully across the highway without being a pain. Oh, gorgeous. when does that ever happen? And then I don't want it bridged all the way. We will embank it now, I think. So push it down onto there. And then let's have this run all the way back to the rail. Fantastic. So that actually now gives the city access to intercity trains, doesn't it? Which is very cool. How are we doing for noise pollution around here now? Incredibly noisy. Wouldn't mind a little bit more commercial knocking about there, actually. And probably these guys can come back in. Maybe some high density too. Of course, it is a little bit more noise resistant, so it should be able to survive living there. And then we will leave this open to accept intercity trains as well. So that will be great. We now have trains and metro and trams all available in the city, which is going to be an absolute public transport fest, isn't it? Anyway, level 2. Then we'll be right back. And we are now at level 2. Let's also have a little look at the trolleybus line as well. It's getting some decent usage actually, isn't it? It's really nice to see these vehicles moving around. And then furthermore, the train station is also super busy as well. I will definitely catch a train before the episode ends anyway. But I'm thinking, just as the episode's been going on here, it's going to end up being incredibly long. So I think we might end up leaving this as a smaller campus, allowing us to use some of the larger assets, and also some of the other campuses as well, because these provide so much capacity. We just never end up needing the other 3 campuses. So I think we'll try and keep them a little bit just kind of smaller and tasteful. But either way, we do have some new buildings to play with. So we've got our trade school outdoor study, which I don't think I'm going to use. I don't usually like this asset. I think it just looks kind of bad. Don't really like it, so I think we'll get rid of it. And then we do have some new buildings here too, including the trade school fountain, which is going to be very welcome in a certain area, possibly. Yeah, actually, let's bring that pathway behind. I think we have this directly behind the high school. So for those that missed it during that last segment, we have placed in the Institute of Creative Arts in the campus itself, because we did have that high school demand. So that should be most of our education levels met now. And then the other assets we have, oh there we go, does a train just turn up? Yeah, here we go, so all the people spilling out the station. A lot of them are walking, which is good. And then they're all heading down toward the tram stop over here. Wait, look at the ants already. Isn't that great? It's gonna be one of our busiest ever little town centers. It's super cool, super cool. I really like it. I think we'll get a little bit more high density zoning around here too. Some more green cities towers growing. So yes, we also have the gymnasium and the cafeteria now, which I think are going to pair quite nicely with a varsity sports building. I think we'll do the aquatic centre. So let's grab ourselves a road. We'll do this one. Come directly. Oh, I'd like this to be aligned with the bridge, although where we're going to put it exactly is definitely not there. So let's bring that road up a little bit. Just making sure we stick to angle and road length. Should be okay. Let's try it here. I quite like it aligned by the tracks there. Yeah, I think that's a pretty sensible positioning for that, isn't it? And then we can just come straight in there, and I'll probably bring this one. Oh, I mean that's pretty much a straight shot down there, isn't it? So I think we'll connect it in there. And then let's grab the gymnasium. Definitely going to make sense to have this in and around the aquatic centre, isn't it? Grab a little pathway here. We'll do grid. And let's go. I guess we can just about squeeze it in there. Actually, wouldn't mind just being able to turn that around. So because it's a campus asset, let's see if we can throw it on a pathway. Interesting, it won't go that way, but it will go the other way. That makes little no sense at all. I guess that's the only place it can go then, isn't it? So I'll be happy with that. And then let's grab the other cafeteria. And I reckon we can have this just next door. Be happy with that there, I think. Also kind of makes it look like it's open to the public there as well, doesn't it? Fantastic. So that more than meets the attractiveness level, which will take us up to level 3. Which I think I'm happy with. By the way, I have also activated education boost on the city-wide policies just to help with student numbers. And again, I think with this being kind of a major arena, probably justifies some parking around the back of it. So let's fully encompass the asset. And we can have that on like that, can't we? I don't think that's too offensive. And just flesh out any concrete texture where it would make sense on the side there. Cool. And then let's place our car parking in the usual fashion on this side, just so we have that aesthetic of parking nearby to the main arena like that. We're also going to name the college today after Joe, who won the logo competition, so we'll go for the Mercer Institute. Thank you so much for winning that competition again, Joe. You just legend of that logo, absolutely love it. I would definitely have one of those signs up and out front of the university as well. Why don't we have it out there? Just love it again. Isn't it so cool? Absolutely love it. Hopefully the animation is ready by the time this goes out as well. It should be. I'm waiting on my logo animator to get back to me. So it should be ready, hopefully. So that leaves us with a pretty small, compact campus, doesn't it? Capable of getting to level 3. We'll charge higher ticket prices here. We'll grant another academic work as well, just to get it up to level 3. And it should get there. And what is it we actually get at level 3 with this campus? Library, IT club, the commencement office and the statue. So I think we'll leave our campus to hit level 3, but in terms of actual education demand, I don't really want it getting bigger than this. At least not until we hit the downtown, where we do start wanting to use in the other unique buildings at level 5. Then we'll look to pushing it. But either way, we do have a ton of detailing to do. We've got all this stuff to sort out here where the new trolleybuses are. I also want to extend the bridges over here, plus the campus itself and everything else around it. Oh, just look at that. Happy repetition. little back-to-back chirp cinema action. Are they historical? I hope so. Not, but we will make them so. Fantastic. Either way, before we get distracted even further, let's detail up our campus and its surrounding public transport areas, and then we'll be right back. guys, let's have a little look around what's happened, shall we? So at the top end of our trolleybus system, we have a little airport apron in the triangle. Then just fleshed out the stop with some gazebos, some planters, a couple of toilets from the Railroads of Japan DLC, alongside some more benches around the actual stop itself. Now, you might have noticed how busy the cycling roads are. Really, really busy, which is super cool to see. I've extended the system down here now to meet up with the couplet, so you can actually do like a full cycle loop around the current city. And it's likely we'll extend this cycle system down this way into the downtown once this area begins to open up. But we're a little ways from doing that just yet. There's pathways through here, a little bit more commercial, before we start spilling back down over this way where we've got a fountain on the corner. Some nice little statue and planter work outside the front of the station. Again, with a wonderful little sign there. Absolutely love this design from Joe, and thanks again so much for Scope for putting the billboard together. Just awesome to see. Then as we head down the main road, we come across little statues with some benches. I decided to knock the cafeteria back a tile by placing it on a pathway, then deleting it, so we could do some more appropriate bollard work around here where we had the tables, which is a really nice way of just setting an asset back, isn't it? I really love the drive down the main road here past the campus. Super cute. Of course, we have the bridge coming across here now as well with the trains, and there's a great sight line on the approach into the city here. That with the clock tower. How cool was that? That was totally accidental. I do love a bit of accidental sight lineage. We will watch this train pull up. There's plenty of tourists arriving in here now. And like we saw in the episode, they do mostly tend to walk. There's maybe 3 or 4 pocket cars, but the majority are walking to go ahead and grab public transport in the city centre over here. And look at the ants already. Right, this is only episode 5. Holy crap. Look at that. The hustle and bustle around the town centre is just gorgeous, isn't it? So I really like that. Further over this way, we have designed a little stop around our trolleybus with some parks. And we've got some commercial in there as well. Cafes, tennis courts and car parking just to help fill what was quite a bit of an awkward shaped space. But plenty of convergence now between people walking back between trams and trolleybuses. And you can imagine how much this is going to increase once that metro line becomes active. And it links into those high density downtown areas, which will happen eventually, of course, but we're a little ways from that just yet. Further down the road, we have some more bridge action now where they do both flow over. I'm not entirely sure what direction they're heading in yet. I think I'm probably going to keep them both against the coast to run into some kind of downtown hub. But again, I'm not thinking that far ahead just yet. But we do have those networks prepared now, again all perfectly measured at the same height and length, so we get some very nice bridge symmetry coming over here again. And once this is all active, we're going to have some wonderful transport layers here, aren't we? Once this is all flowing, there's definitely a future sort of short time lapse to be had here, isn't there? So really love how that came together. I've saved some room here just for that campus to expand. We are currently sat at a level 2. It will hit level 3 once it hits its student numbers. And its last academic work, of course. It's still climbing in student numbers there. I don't really want to take it to level 5, like I said, because it just provides too much capacity, and we don't really need to then build out a liberal arts and actual university campus area, which I really do want to do, get all 3 campus types in. So we'll save those for the downtown, and when this does eventually hit level 5, we'll come back here, level this up, and get the last of the 2 unique buildings that unlock at level 5 as well. So we'll definitely come back and do that. But besides that, lots of car parking around our main arena, which is getting nice use. And then there's little pathways here around the back of the trolleybus. And then this all spills back into some landscape gardens around the gym. And then we do have some Green Cities apartments down the main road as well. Perhaps there's some more modern, recently built student accommodation over here. So I really like how that turned out again. And a super nice view down the arterial back towards that initial industry, isn't there? It came out really nicely. It's a really cute campus. I always prefer these smaller campuses, I think, to the large, massive ones. They're always kind of that little bit more tasteful, aren't they? And it sits in really nicely as part of the general collection of the city as it does grow up. Otherwise, guys, that will do it for today. Thank you so much for watching and all the support on Rannoch. It's so nice to see you guys still enjoying CS1 Vanilla all these years later, especially as CS2 begins to find its feet, especially with that detailers update that dropped a couple of weeks ago by the time you guys see this video anyway. So it's super cool. Thank you for still supporting it. I'm having a ton of fun in Rannoch, and a massive shout out to Joe as well for winning the competition. Like I said, I'll also bring that logo design competition into the new CS2 city if you also want to get involved in that. All the information's on the channel, get in the Discord as well, so you can vote on that too. A massive shout out to all the patrons that support the channel, with a special roll call to Louis Adlim. You guys are a secret blend of herbs and spices. If you want to get involved in that, there is podcasts, early access, and loads more over on the Patreon if you want a bit more egg in your life. And the instant gaming link always helps support as well, whilst getting you a fantastic deal in return. Otherwise, please do enjoy some cinematics of Rannoch as we complete our campus today. Otherwise, let's thank you all so much indeed for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.